Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Far Side TV with a very special guest, Mr. Ghandi. What's up with you?
Yeah, I'm straight, man. How about you?
Cool, cool. You come recommended from a very high caliber homeboy that said I need to have a conversation with you. And so
Yeah,
yeah, no, as a matter of fact, the conversation that we had before we went live, I got to learn quite a bit more and I'm really excited about the conversation.
no doubt, man. Thanks for having me and shout out to Lias, for recommending me and connecting me with you. I appreciate it and I trust we'll have like a good conversation as you said.
Oh, for sure. And like I said before, I've had two very special relationships with two of his different cousins, but it wasn't like all three of us were whatever. Like I literally had a relationship with one of his cousins that was my homeboy. He passed, and then I had another
Mm,
relationship with one of his cousins that passed, and then I
yeah,
kind of inherited the relationship with him, which ended up being similar to the relationships that I had with his other cousins. So shoot, man, I'm blessed to just have that. He's the younger cousin. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
rest in peace, Fudge, which Fudge was he was Fife's manager, and in the song Butter, that's when Fife says, "My homie's fudging lucky because I'm smooth like butter." So that
Yeah,
was Fudge, and
yeah,
yeah, me and Fudge was tight. Rest in peace. And then I knew his cousin Dave from De La, but
mm,
I probably met Dave in like the late '90s, but we
okay,
got real cool like around 2004. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
And there up on until we had a real yeah, he was a real close partner of mine. But with
Well,
that being said, what's the first hip hop song that spoke to you?
wow, wow. I'd like to say, the funny thing is, Um, it might seem awkward, my answer, right? So I was in New Jersey. You see, you mentioned Dave. Well, me, I don't know him like that. I know him as True Goy, you know what I'm saying,
Okay.
the dub. So they were part of the first sets of De La Soul were part of the first sets of songs that I heard. And I'll say like late 80s, growing up in Jersey. But really it was Bobby Brown. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, Don't Be Cruel. That's what really, you say hip hop, you know what I'm saying? So for me, hip hop is the subculture and the the music, if you want to say the music part of the subculture. So you have rap, but for me, um, R&B as we know it today, when I was coming up anyway, as a youngin and late, mid late 80s and New Jersey, whatever, in Florida
Mm-hmm.
also. Um, I saw like New Edition, like then later on Bobby Ryan, all these dudes. To me, they were, part of, if you want to say, the greater subculture of hip hop. And the music they were doing, although it was R&B, it wasn't necessarily typically rap. It was, for me, part of hip hop. So anyway, there's a long way to answer you to tell you really it was it's not the first joint that I heard, but one of the first songs, series of songs that I heard that captivated me, that made me want to actively, participate. It was literally Bobby Brown. Like, we used to hang out tough, just kicking around. We discovered a sound, something that could never be found. I remember I used to write it down, and try to learn it. And so anyway, in a nutshell, yeah, this is the first joint that got me really, really into wanting to participate, if you want to say, in the artistic expression of this subculture that I guess today we call hip hop.
Nah, that no, I'll take that. I'll take that because I remember seeing videos of a very young New Edition, and
Mm.
Bobby was the one that could pop and break dance. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Yeah, he was the one. They were really. This wasn't. It might have been Candy Girl or before Candy Girl, but
yeah.
Bobby is definitely. And I had the pleasure of meeting Bobby Brown.
Mm.
so my buddies were recording a song with Ralph Tresvant, and he brought
Salute.
Bobby with him. And dude, this was like 98, 99,
Mm,
and the experience blew my mind. Like, first of all, Bobby Brown I mean, New Edition has made their comeback and whatnot, but Bobby
mm,
Brown is the he the prince of R&B is what I will give him.
yeah,
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 that's what I could say. He the prince for sure. He's the prince, man. He
yeah.
he he revolutionized so much. He was the first cat to be in like a R&B group and go solo and
Mm.
really do better than what the group did, man. Like he really trendsetter, just so much. So anyway, so I'm over there, and my buddies had rented out a house to use as a studio. Like they were kind of smart, man. They were really smart. They were over that, being locked into $1,000 a day studio at the time with an engineer that was probably like $1,000 a day. You know what I'm saying? For like months, they'd be in the studio for months. Doing these albums. So they had this house, and I remember being fascinated that Bobby Brown went to the grocery store. And I can't remember if I took him to the store, because the store was like right around the corner or whatever. But he got like some pork skin. Like you would think at that time you didn't have social media, you weren't seeing a whole bunch of Bentleys or nothing. You're just seeing Bobby Brown, who, all over MTV. He's married to Whitney Houston. And he had bought some pork skins and something else. And I remember being like, dang, Bobby, like, he's going, I think it might have been an AM PM. And I was like, man, he's going in there getting this. And um, then not to go too far, the other part that kind of blew my mind, he was talking about his wife. And he's like, yeah, Whitney and whoop de whoop and Whitney. And me and my home was just looking at each other like, dude, we really here talking to Bobby Brown. And he's talking about his wife. And yeah, I won't even go into all that, but it was a mind blowing. But me meeting Bobby Brown and seeing him like in that place and space, like he was. People get it twisted because with social media, you're able to see the human side of somebody, so you're able to see parts that you could judge and whatnot. But I never get it twisted, dude. He was a member of one of the most famous boy bands in American
Mm,
history, and he went solo, and he did incredible numbers going solo.
mm.
And that was amazing. And then, I raised my cup to him, because even now, to see New Edition and you have Bobby Brown and Johnny Gill, and it's just like, man, people just, I mean, that's just a very powerful, you know, thing. But yeah, so that's my experience with that. But it was a mind-blowing experience, dude, to see the human part of Bobby. That, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he was
Okay.
very, he was very uh very human. Yeah. What's up, Amaru? Amaru tapped in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's
Peace,
definitely part of the Splendid family. So
peace, peace.
every weekend, you were telling me, and we'll get into your scholarly stuff that you got going on in the academics and whatnot, but
Mm,
every weekend I listen to an album. Whether it's new wave, whether it's a reggae dub album, whether it's hip hop or whatever. And the reason that I listen to an album is because I feel like uh listening to albums is somewhat similar to cursive writing. It's something that used to be done, and older heads can kind of look at it, see it, appreciate it, understand it. But I
mm,
feel like if we don't do it, it's something that'll be lost. So every weekend I'll listen to an album, which last weekend I listened to Voodoo, rest in peace, D'Angelo, and
D'Angelo.
listen to the genius of that. And it was an amazing work
Mm,
of art. And I think it's important that we listen to albums because I believe now the attention span
mm,
of most people won't allow them to listen to an album. You know what I'm saying? They can only digest a single because you know
mm.
you just want a song. You just want that quick that uh jiff. Uh, I'm not down in it, but I'll say we're in a state of jiffy pop culture. Like everything needs to
Okay.
be water, sugar, Kool Aid, water, sugar,
Mm,
Kool Aid. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be like that. But um, the Clips came out with an album
mm.
this year, and um, I was so excited that I bought doubles of wax and have
Okay.
not played one of them. And I don't plan on just keeping the wax to just have as some type of souvenir, but I'm really a Clips fan. And the reason there's a certain skill set that comes with doing the same thing on the same consistent level for so many years. And
Mm.
a lot of people are like, well, their content is the same, and it's just da da da. But when people do it good, man, it could be the same every time. You know what I'm saying?
Clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't hear the whole album.
Oh
You
no, you got
know
to.
what I'm saying? I heard the few joints that I heard, I thought they were tight. To tell you the truth, that's not to down them. Like, I respect their craftsmanship. Um, but in terms of me personally, that's not really like, what I'm saying? Like I could listen to a few songs every now and then, you know what I mean, from them. That's not really if you want to say the genre or the brand of, what I'm saying, rap that I would gravitate to. But for sure, like in this current era, from what I gather, and what I heard, yeah,
I'll
the
say
album seems
this.
to have been like one of the good ones, you know what I mean, this year thus far.
There's a level of poetry
Mm,
that goes with it. And so, going into somewhat of your background, and we'll get into that. But
mm,
his brother Malice, um, he walked away from rap because of his conviction
mm,
to the Christian faith.
mm,
He had a calling, and it was like, eh. And I say that to say, even though they use metaphors of illicit substance, there's more than that.
mm,
There's more than that. There for sure, for sure. As a
mm.
matter of fact, what I'll do is I'm gonna send you a couple of song titles, and man, just give them 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what though? I'll say this. I'll tell you somebody who I slept on who makes really good albums. The
Who that?
Alchemist. The
Who?
Alchemist.
Alchemist?
Oh yeah, for sure.
As a what? As a producer or as a rapper? You're talking about?
Producer.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Producer.
that's for sure, for sure.
So Freddie Gibbs, which his content is a little more gritty than the Clips on that topic. But what
Mm,
the Alchemist does is he takes soul and jazz and he just paints it in a very creative way, man.
mm.
I would say I'm not gonna say the Alchemist. No, modern day Primo
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, I'll say that doesn't make it's not boom bap. His is more jazz, like a. It's kind of like a jazzy thing. It's kind of like a jazzy soul thing where
Mm,
Primo is like really boom bap. Like that's really his the backbone to what he does. But yeah, the Alchemist is a really dope producer for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Worthy of keeping my attention
Mm,
listening to an album. Because once
yeah.
again, I believe that we can't forget how to listen to albums. You
Mm.
know, it's easy to not have the patience with so much media and so many songs and so many producers and stuff like that. But the album is sacred. Matter of fact, uh Amaru, he's working on something. The cat, he's Greenwood Studios. He tapped in, and he told me that he was working on a project with this guy, and I mean, he just said it very. I mean, you just don't know what people do or what they're capable of, or just
Mm.
whatever. And when he said it, I was just like, okay, that's cool, that's dope. And I heard some of the music that Amaru did, and then on the flip side, I heard the cat that he was going to do the project with, and the cat that he was going to do the project with. I was just like, oh man, that's like it was heavy, man. Homeboy is a very talented, cat, man. Hugh Blind, and I'll turn you on to him too. He's
All
very
right.
like he's he's dope. He's
Yeah,
dope. So yeah, moving on. Well, tell me this. What's the last album you listened to in its entirety?
man. I'm. How do you say this? I don't even like those terms. Old school, new school. But I'll tell you this, man. I'll say I listened to recently. I listened to Primo with Ransom. I thought, well, it's an EP, but
Okay. Nah,
this
that
is
that count.
that's an album. You know what I'm saying? 7 songs, I believe. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember how many it is, but that's definitely. I was just telling one of my homeboys earlier. I had a conversation with him. I feel like that's one of, so like I said, like, okay, like the clips, I'll give them that, but apart from the Clipses and everybody else that came out, for me, that's a standout. In terms of like um raw rap, that's a standout album. And so yeah, that's recently, that's the one of the albums, I mean, recent albums that I listened to in its entirety. But other than that, I'm I'm stuck in the what they call the so-called old school hip hop, soul music, R&B, a variety of genre of music. You know what I'm saying? I don't just like, tell you the truth, like a lot of the new output and so-called rap, like I said, I'm not really moved by it. You know what I'm saying? So I stick to the traditional stuff. But yeah, so all this to say, salute to Ransom and Primo. I think they got a solid one.
I've said it on the podcast a million times, but this is the first time I'm talking to you. So
Mm,
I'll on the podcast. I mean, we talked on the phone, but
yeah.
I'll say this: I had a buddy who's a DJ. Um, he's been a DJ on big radio stations in LA, as
Mm,
well as on a huge podcast. And I had him come. My partner, he owns a retail store, so we had an event, and so I had the DJ come down and whatnot, and he played, and I was talking to him, and I said, Joe, because the DJ is my homeboy too, but not
mm,
super close, but we good, we're real good. So I said, you being a DJ, you DJ in clubs, you DJ on this podcast, you DJ on the radio. I'm like, how do you play this new music? Like
mm,
but I'm sounding like the oldest head in the world, while we're having
mm,
this conversation. And um he gave me a viewpoint that made so much sense. He said, you're listening to the new music wrong. And I'm
okay.
like, well, I don't know how to listen. I just know I listen to something, either I like it or I don't. He said, no. He said, you're grading the music that you hear today with a test that's from like 89, 88, 90, 91, 92. And he said, the music today, you can have dope rhymes, dope beats, and dope content, but because it's so mass produced, you may just get one out of the three, and then you just you gravitate to that and you accept that as where we are today. And when he said that to me, a lot of the secular music became more palatable. You know,
Okay.
like you can't grade an Italian chef on Mexican food. Like they're two different things. It's food, but it's two different things. But I say that to say, um, if you love your golden age music and all that, there is some music that's being made right now that's dope. Like that's real dope too.
Oh
Like
yeah, I don't doubt that. It's just more like because you asked me my me personally, you know what I'm saying? Like I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
doubt
yeah.
that. You know what I mean, like say like, and it's not even a new or old. That's why I said like the way that I expressed it, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's the only way to express it to make it intelligible. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't do categories like old school. Me, it's like for me, it's music, right? So I see myself as a musician and someone who's into art. So I judge art as art, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? How do you say this? What form it comes at, I judge it as art.
Yeah.
So it's either good art for me. You know what I mean? Like I said, so it's probably to a certain extent it's subjective, and we don't got to get too deep into it. I'll say, well, I think it's more than subjective. What I'm saying, I'll say like, so I'll judge art based on the standards of art that I know. You know, and for me, um, that transcends time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so when you say like, for example, like I said, it's not that I can't appreciate, you know what I'm saying, some of the recent stuff. Say, for example, well, dude is like he's around my age, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how old you are. Like say for example, a dude like 2 Chainz, right? Although he hasn't have any output as of recent time, but when I say recent, since you're told, you just explained it, like
Yeah.
everything moves so fast now. But I mean, 2 Chainz, not only a dope lyricist. To me, he's he's a proficient, you know what I'm saying? Like he's an artistic figure, but he does what you would say is contemporary style of rap. Um, who else I could say? Like off head right now. It's just to tell you, like, no, no, it's not that I'm not hip to what's out here right now. But if you ask me personally, right,
Yeah.
what what
Your
moves me,
preference.
yeah, what moves me is not, you know what I'm saying, necessarily what's going on right now, because I feel like there's a like I tell you, the way that I view art is as a continuum. I don't care if it's from um say like for example, in deep down Congo, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
in the 17th, you know what I'm saying, century, or if you go back to Beethoven and move on to Marvin Gaye, and you know what I'm saying, or like we just said, New Edition. To me, that's a continuum. They're different forms of expression, but it's art and music nonetheless, and it's to me there. So I, as a person who's into art and who's also a musician, I get to appreciate, saying art for what it is. And I say on a continuum, at least from my standards, right? I'm like, well, it could be something that's recent, as long as there are certain things, criteria that I have, right? If it has it, it got me. But a lot of the stuff that personally, I'm not saying for everybody else, you know what I'm saying? But personally, a lot of the new output, like, yeah, it's organized sound, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't move me like some of the earlier stuff, and I don't think it's just because I'm older or anything of the sort. You know what I'm saying? I just think again, it's there's something missing. I'll shut up there, but I'll tell you, I was literally just
Nah,
having this conversation with my homeboy. You know
but
what I'm
but to add some context to it,
saying?
the way that you're gonna process it is gonna be different a little bit
Hmm.
due to the discipline in your lines of education. And we're gonna talk about your education in a
Hmm.
minute, because you're gonna look at it like you're more than glancing at it, you're looking at it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Which that's super dope. Tell me this: your favorite hip hop movie?
My favorite what?
Hip hop movie?
Woo! Wow, man. There's goodness. I'll say man, the joint with hold on, like it's a lot, man. I cannot tell you like it's, I don't have like one specific, but if I had to pick, I'd say Love Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? With Nia Long and well, the main actor is Nia Long and Lorenz Tate. I'll say yeah,
Man,
that's one of my favorite joints.
you know what? I've never watched it all the way through.
Oh, okay.
It kind of, but no, it's just with me. I'm more of a, but I mean, that ain't got nothing to do with hip hop. But that
Yeah.
movie was just heavy on. That movie was heavy, man. It was kind of, it
And
was
what
kind of
sense?
heavy. I was just like, man, this dude's in love with the girl and he got these issues. And I was just like, oh man. But
Oh
but
yeah,
shoot,
well you should check it out, man. I think it was much. It's like it's like my late teens, early 20s. You know what I'm saying? When that you at that stage of your
yeah,
life
yeah,
where
yeah.
you're coming into adulthood, and as someone from, if you want to say that culture or subculture, you know what I'm saying? Like you relate to, well, at least, yeah, I related to that. I related to a lot of them. Like I could have picked, I could have told you Menace, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, no,
which
no.
is
I
one
get
of
it.
them, but that would be too cliche to me. It's like, no, you know what? Yo, Love Jones, it's not just me. I think like movies like, and they are, that's a hip hop movie in a sense that if we're talking about, again, the subculture, right? It was
Yeah.
just a different facet, you know what I'm saying, of the subculture. I mean, especially at that time, right? It presented you a facet of the hip hop subculture that wasn't really prominent, you know what I'm saying, and on the market. So I felt like, and around that time too, I was heavily involved in the street, you know what I'm saying? So for someone to be like in the street, to be a, like literally, that's what I said. Y'all could have told you, because my background is very like complex in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me to tell, like I said, I could have picked Mayonnaise, I could have picked New Jersey
Oh no, I
Drive.
know.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? But yeah, no, Love Jones, man. Shout out.
I take I take that. I'll take that. I mean, man, at that. It's so funny. I went to elementary school with Nia Long.
Okay.
I went and it was like she was a star back then. Like she was only
Yeah.
doing at that time. I think she had only done like maybe Different Strokes a couple times. Like maybe
Okay.
maybe Different Strokes. And her mom had a condo across the street from the elementary school. It was by LAX. Playa del Rey is the where it's at or whatever. But yeah,
Okay.
I can say from fourth, fifth, and sixth grade in my memories of her, like she was a star. And not a star where like she was stuck up or anything like that, but uh I guess if you want to say the it factor, like so how somebody is just like they're undeniably there's something about them. You know what I'm saying? She had that thing. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
it wasn't about like attraction or her being like a little cute little girl. No, like it was nothing like that. Like she just it was. I don't know if it was the way her mom raised or what it was, but she was a star. She was a star. So it didn't surprise me to see her rise to the levels that she's risen to being an actress.
Yeah. And she's an artist. You see, if you don't mind, I'll seg that back to the earlier. See, when you talked to me about what kind of music I listened to at the last album, and I was telling you about art. See, like so I was particularly focusing on music, but see, I could use that as an analogy, right? So to me, in my understanding, someone like Nia Long as an actress, right? She's an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not, and she's an artist who perform at the highest level of excellence in her art form. So it's in
Mhm.
that sense that I tell you that, if you want to use that as an analogy to music, like as an actress, right? She plays a plethora, you know what I'm saying, of roles, right? Like
Mhm.
she been in so-called gangsters movies, Boys in the Hood, and adapting a character. Then you'll see her in like a movie like Love Jones, what is it, Best Man, etc. Right? Like so on and so forth, right?
Mhm.
But the different roles that this woman has, taken, you know what I'm saying, and in terms of performance, it's excellent. It's in that sense that I'm saying that. So if you want to just stick to rappers, for example, when I say today, you know what I'm saying, like at least right, I'm talking in general term also, right? That's what I was saying. I'm not saying that there's no good rappers or there's not any good music out there. That's not it. I'm saying in terms of in general, you know what I'm saying, like the types of artists or artistry that people like in the film, if you want to say industry, right? People like Nia Long, I mean, we're doing as an analogy in rap, for me, I find that that's rare. You know what I'm saying? You don't find those types of those rappers. They come. I'm not saying there's a lot of people that could rap. You know, that's this is what I'm saying. Me, I don't just want to hear rap. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean content either, lyrical content or even ideology. It's it's more than I'll put in what you just said, the it factor. There's the it factor, you know what I'm saying? And then there's I don't know, like the like I say, like the certain and it's not just it factor, it's certain je ne sais quoi that these artists have, right? That they exude, bro. That like, yeah, they go right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't feel like you got that anymore. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's just my perspective on it. You know what I mean?
Nah, we gonna break all that down a
Yeah,
little more. And I want you got me like, man, you got my mind going. I want to just jump over some questions and get to the meat of the
yeah.
whole situation. But that's just not the for like I build it up. Like I so we no, we gonna because I want to talk about your education so bad, but we gonna
Okay.
get to that. We're gonna get because that the way that your mind thinks, it
Mm-hmm.
reflects the different um sciences that you've been disciplined in. And I can tell that by talking to you because if I like, it's not a basic conversation. Like to me, I'm having a very general conversation about some things, but the way that your mind works, it's not about a general any. Like you're going into exactly you can you have the education to articulate and to look at things a lot broader than
Mm.
just a blinders on
Yeah,
kind
okay,
of
okay,
view.
okay.
So I
I
say
see.
that to give you your props, and we're
Thank you,
going to
man.
get into all of that in a second. I'm gonna go past a couple more. How did you get the name Gunday?
So yeah, so it's actually yeah, it's spelled Ghandi, but it's actually pronounced Gandhi.
Okay,
So you know, when I back in the days and way back, you coming up, rapping and getting into music, and you want you want to name that school. So I went by a different iteration, and at some
okay,
point, let me see, like maybe like wow, man, like mid 90s, you know what I'm saying? I was looking for something that I felt, represented. So everything you just said now, when you talked about you made reference to, education. Back then, like I said, so like I said, I have like a little, it's like a, I don't want to say complex, like my background, like I said, you know what I mean? Like in my late teenagehood, early teenager and late teenagehood, man, I was involved in, what I'm saying, like, like dumb stuff, the typical stuff that, when you're
secular
growing up,
stuff.
there you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the hood or whatever, in the streets, and you're looking, you're looking for an identity or whatever. So anyway, as a when I decided to get into music, I was looking for a name. I went to different iteration, but I grew up, I was raised by, my father and my mother, the way they raised us, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, there was a very, they focused a lot on, education. Um, and also I grew up in a so-called, I'm using the term so-called religious household. So I wanted to have a name that I think, embodied all that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
if you want to say my street experience and the fact that um the way that my parents raised me, right? So I'm also I like, bro, I dropped out of I dropped out of college, you know what I'm saying? Like early, like I think I was freshman, I dropped out and spent a lot of time, outside of education or whatever, right? But anyway, all this to say, so I was looking and I used to read a lot, you know what I'm saying, back in the days before I even got when we get into when you ask me those questions about my academic endeavors or whatever, before I got into all that, I was an avid reader, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like, you know what? I felt like, you know what? I'm gonna take the word gun, you know what I'm saying, to represent. It's symbolic, right? So GUN, it's the word gun, but what it represents is, if you want to say the material, the raw, the if you want to say uncultured, aspect of my life, but also of I think of everyone. And then DEI is DE. It's a you know what I'm saying, Latin word, you know what I'm saying, that stands for the divine, or sometimes they translate it as God or gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that there represented the the so-called religious upbringing that I had, but also like what I would like to define as the cultured, if you want to say, aspect of life, the more intellectual, if you want to say, aspect. So you put them together, right? I know I didn't want it to be pronounced Gandhi because I thought, you see, when you like, not you, I'm saying it is, when you read it,
Yeah,
it's for
to anybody that
Gandhi.
don't
But
know.
there you go. So I wanted people to be able to, I say, like, to for it to roll out, on the tongue when people say. So I was like, okay, you know what? Back in the days before there's certain things I found out about Gandhi. I was also into, I read, some of Gandhi's stuff or whatever, like Mahatma Gandhi, that is, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey, you know what? Yeah, that would be cool. Um, I could use the phonetic, if you were to say, of a pronunciation of his name, you know what I mean? And put it with the gun and DE that I put so that people will be able to say it, more easily. So I say, okay. So I said, just call me Gandhi. But when you'll
Okay.
see it spelled out, it'll spelled out gun DE. And then I knew that once I got the opportunity to have conversations about it, I'll be able to explain to people why is it spelled gun DE, but it's pronounced Gandhi. You know what I'm saying? So if that makes sense to you, like, so the idea is,
Oh,
again, it's,
all the
it's two words put together, you know what I'm saying, that's pronounced Gandhi, but the two words represent, what I mean, like the aspects, different aspects of my life, or different aspects of life, think of for everyone's life.
no, all the sense in the world. So what
Mm.
medium do you use to find music now? Is it just social media? Is it Spotify, Apple Music? How do you find new songs or songs period?
In general, man, I look for, physical, like mainly CDs. Like if it comes for vinyls, I like when I'm fishing, if you would say, for old soul, old classical, or or
Mm-hmm.
old rock, I want vinyls. But in terms of, in general, like stuff that I'm consuming, I'll say online to YouTube. You know what I mean? Like Spotify, I use it because I have a Spotify account for me for my music, but I'm not a big streamer like that. I also won't lie. How you call it? Bandcamp. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I get a lot of independent stuff through Bandcamp because I also do have a Bandcamp page. But overall, yeah, YouTube. When I want to discover new stuff, Google stuff. I'll search on YouTube, or again, what I'm saying, any stores that I can find that still carry CDs. You know what I'm saying, and vinyls. I'll get those
Man,
too.
the the generation right now has it so good, man. We had to we had magazines,
Mm,
we had FM radio that would just kill you to death with popular
uh,
music, just making you like it, just going over and over and over and
uh,
over. And you had MTV, like that was basically it. It was magazines, MTV,
the
and
box.
FM radio.
Yeah, you
Yeah, the
got visual
box.
music box. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. With Donnie
So
Simpson.
Outkast got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mm,
That was dope.
yeah,
That
salute
was
to
dope.
them.
Were you able
Yeah.
to see any of it, or the speeches, or the performances, or anything? No.
I saw excerpts.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously I'm a fan of Outkast also. They're a great influence. You know what I'm saying? Like on myself as an artist. And I feel like they're from you know, since we talk about Dave, True Goy, De La Soul, they're
Mm-hmm.
from, to me, they're just a progression of, what I'm saying, what De La was doing. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, they were just a later version, if you want to say, of it. It's not to say that they copied. I'm saying that the influence or the line of, they're from that family tree. So that I resonate a lot with, what I'm saying, those types of, what I'm saying, like De La Soul, you know what I'm saying? Like, saying Outcast. So yeah, salute to them, and I'm happy for
You
them, man.
you speaking on De La, uh,
Mm,
I forget the name of the song, but it's Googleable or YouTubeable.
mm.
The song that De La did with 2 Chainz, that verse, boy.
Change. Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Oh man, nah, it was
Change.
it was it's oh man.
Yeah, I never heard. I probably
It's
never
pro
even heard it.
it's probably about 5 years, 6 years old,
Okay.
whatever. But when you get a chance,
No,
look
I'll
at
definitely Google it now that you mentioned it.
oh
I'm like, yeah,
man.
with 2 Chainz, yeah, Daylight, okay.
I was never really a 2 Chainz fan. I
Yeah,
mean,
Two
I
Chainz dope.
just, you know, oh, when I heard him rapping over that Daylight beat, man, and he was it. I'm gonna tell you what impressed me. He could have just said some stuff on the song that sounded dope,
Mm,
and that could have been his contribution. But he was really rapping, dude. He
yeah,
was
Two
rapping
Chainz.
hard. And
Yeah,
I
two
was just,
chains.
I really, I was like, dang, yeah, it definitely, he definitely put effort into making that a dope song. Like it wasn't
Mm.
just him, just like, okay, Daylight hits up two chains, can I get a verse? Da da da. Nah, what he didn't just give him no verse. He gave him some fire.
Yeah, yeah. He a real spitter, man.
Yeah,
He just
no, that's a fact.
yeah. He just figured out how to you know what I'm saying? Like where I think I lag, I'll say like, yeah, he figured it out. He figured out how, as a real spitter, to to can I say translate his art form and his skills and in a
Mm-hmm.
sense what you were referring to when we were having the earlier segment, you know what I'm saying, of our
Mm-hmm.
conversation. Like he figured out a way to make his stuff palpable, I guess I should say. You know what I'm saying? Or something that the current market or
Can
the general
digest.
public can, there you go. But in reality, like again, the dude is like he's like our generation, like or at least my generation, but
Yeah.
he just figured it out, man. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not. I don't got that gift that two chains have. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to translate, you know what I'm saying, that level of skill that he has and the baggage that he has, as a musician, as a hip hop head, to make it where, like you said, the general public can, especially, you know what I'm saying, in the late 20th, early 21st century, for them to be able to consume it. So I think, yeah, he deserves a lot of credit just for that alone, because it's not an easy, you know what I'm saying? It's not everybody that can do that. He does
Oh
it
no,
again
no,
at a high level.
definitely. Oh man, there's definite skill that's attached. I mean, high level skill that's
Yeah.
attached to what he does. When you were in middle school, when I was in yeah, we didn't have them then because I had somebody tell me a couple of younger cats were like, oh, let me think of what was on my iPod. Well, I don't know if you had an iPod middle school or not, but I know you had a
Nah, God.
soundtrack. I know you had a soundtrack. What was the soundtrack to your middle school experience? Like what songs were you listening to?
Man, that's what I'm saying. I tell you the truth, bro. It's gonna sound cheesy to you because again,
It's
I'm a
not gonna sound cheesy.
yeah, okay, I'll tell you. That's what I'm saying. It's like me, again, like the '80s is when you talk about
Yeah,
middle school, high school. That's in the '80s for me. Like like late '80s. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Mid late
fifth. I'm
'80s.
54 years old,
Okay,
man.
so you can relate that. That's what I'm saying. So put it like this, man. So it was again like New Edition, and then
Yep.
you had Bobby went solo. You mentioned Whitney Houston again. Being that, look, at that time I was living in Jersey, Orange, New Jersey. I went to Orange Middle. You know what I'm saying? And Essex County anyway, New Jersey. So Whitney is from that area. So there was a lot of Whitney Houston. Um, man, that's what I said. It goes sound cheesy. Like what?
Anita
Oh,
Baker.
there you go. And even Michael Bolton. You know what I'm saying? Because you were mentioning. Look at this, right? You were mentioning like you said MTV back in those days. It was also VH1. So a lot of that. This is what I'm saying. For me, the beauty of the '80s, for me anyway, when I was at least the experience that I had, right, coming up in the
Yeah.
'80s, and you just talk about middle school, is the fact that a lot of us, bro, like we didn't really make this, especially as teenagers, bro. We didn't really make this distinction that how things are so like, oh, this is pop music, this is hip hop. Like, nah, man, it's
It
whatever
was
we heard that
good
sounded
music,
dope to
man.
us. That there
It
you
was
go,
good
bro. You know what I'm
music.
saying? Like, if I had a girlfriend that just, was some girl I was chasing that broke my heart. I remember that song. And I'll stop there. I mean, I think that's enough to answer your question. I
Yeah,
think,
nah.
that song. I think it's Natalie Cole. There's a song, I Miss You Like Crazy. I Miss You Like Crazy. It's still in my head. I'm like, yeah, I remember, yeah, this girl broke my heart in Jersey, bro. In middle school. And I listen to that song on the radio all the time. I Miss You Like Crazy. So, yeah, so that's
Hey,
basically, if you want to say soundtrack, it's all these joints, bro.
I'll tell you this. It seemed like in middle school and high school was different, but in middle school, them little them little dances was never long enough during the day. They gave you just a shot glass. They
Yeah,
gave you
man.
literally just a shot glass, and you
Yeah.
got to you might have got a slow dance in. You might have got a slow dance, but they gave you just enough. But them young
Yeah,
hormones needed that, man. They probably had to do something, man. If they wouldn't have done that, boy, it'd be a junior high school or a high school full of, instead of it being a one or two and here and there, they had to give a release of the of
yeah.
the.
Shout out to the '80s, man. You know what I'm saying? And De La Soul is part of that too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's a yeah, no, that's a fact. So
yeah,
your senior year of high school, you're about to graduate. What did you think your path was going to be?
man. Okay, see, this is where my life. So by the time, so middle school, I was in Jersey. By the time I'm getting into high school, we moved to Miami. Okay, well, I'll say move back. Okay, because so look quickly, my
Mm-hmm.
story. Look, I I'm an islander. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Haiti. You know what I'm saying? So I was born in Haiti, and then in the '80s, due to political instability in Haiti, you know what I'm saying? Like if you know anything about,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, there you go, like Duvalier, etc. My father, he sent us over to the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like because he was working for the government. I mean, once
Mm-hmm.
baby Doc, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the president, but the dictator president anyway. Back then, he got ousted, and then there was a lot of political instability. So my pops, he sent myself, my mama, my grandma, and my siblings. You know, I got two brothers and one sister. You know what I mean? Sent us to the United States. So we ended up in New Jersey. At first, we ended up in Florida, in Miami, living with with my aunts. Then we moved to New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't stay long in Miami. We moved to New Jersey, lived with one of my uncles. Grew up there, like I said, went to middle school. Then we went back to Miami. So because now you asked me about my high school. So by the time I ended up in Miami, bro, like it's a whole different life. You know what I'm saying? Like all this I still was into music. I still was open, but it was a different kid, bro. Like I got involved in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like um I 112th Street, 6th Ave, Northwest. You know what I'm saying? 6th Ave boys. Shout out to Gas Face and all them boys. So I got involved in the streets at that point. So I had some baggage from New Jersey, obviously, cultural baggage that I brought along with me.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, I got sucked in, bro. I got sucked in into, if you want to say that, Miami street lifestyle by that point. So it's a different, I guess it's a different episode at this point, if that makes
From
sense.
from there to working on your PhD right now.
Yeah,
Okay, so you went
yeah,
through the young part, which you know what? A lot of kids are really intelligent.
absolutely.
I think most kids are intelligent. I think that
Mm-hmm.
it's just how they're fed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And me saying that, I was talking to my father today, and you know, one of the things my parents did for me, that man, it gave me a cheat code. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even realize the level of the cheat code was they wouldn't allow me to go to elementary school around the people that lived in my neighborhood. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't live in a bad neighborhood, that wasn't it. But
Yeah.
I lived in a neighborhood where there was just a lot of spoiled kids, and it was middle class. It was middle class, but there was a lot of kids that just really weren't motivated
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't have to be, and they were just made special.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fortunate enough that three houses down there was a principal to a what you would call a parochial school, which is kind of like a magnet school or whatever. And
Okay.
he talked to my parents, and they were like, and he said, well, you know what? I'll give him a ride a couple times a week, but then we also have the bus. So if he's running late, I'm not going to be late for him. Like I'm the
Mm-hmm.
principal of this school, so I had to catch the bus. And with that experience, getting up at shoot, I had to be at the bus stop at 5:30 in the morning. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then once again, Neil Long went to my school. Like being able to maneuver, like at the age of like 7, 8, 9, maneuvering in an environment that was very foreign and just had all these different people from different walks of life. Like one of my homeboys who I went to elementary school with, his father owned like 14 Burger Kings. Like his mother brought the El Pollo Loco chain to Atlanta.
Okay.
Like I was around, just able to see stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Where by me getting watered with that, once I got into my early 20s, I knew how to be passionate about stuff.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, it's not that a lot of people don't care, they just don't know how to be passionate about something. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? They like, for instance, for you, you had your secular life, you had your hip hop life, you had your, all of that. But once you learned that you could pass these tests and you figured the cheat code to just to learning, to figuring out how to remember the information that was going to be on these tests, and then you're actually um part of, you're giving me a lot of information fast, but I believe there was something in there about you studying something that had to do with religion, you know,
Mm.
and with that, and that's why I say, when you were answering my questions, my mind had to adjust and switch gears, because I was asking you things that were very broad, but you were very focused on on your
Mm.
answers, which made it seem like it was kind of like that, but you were just answering what I was asking. It wasn't the dumbed down version. So
Mm.
how do you go from moving to Miami? Oh, by the way, I dated this girl, man. She made the dopest Creole gravy fast, man. Oh my goodness, man. Man, oh man. And it's in it, the shame, they teach us, or they taught us in America, that Haiti was just this old way out place and all this,
Yeah.
that, and the other, and whatever. What Haiti was the only place where they kicked them people that don't look like us up off that thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what Haiti was. So it wasn't glorified. Like being an American kid, it wasn't glorified. And
Mm.
then and this is no disrespect, but it's all like but I guess it could, like, maybe like a French Caribbean.
Say that
Would you say?
again.
I said, would it be considered like a French Caribbean?
What, Haiti?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Haiti. Yeah, I mean, so there you go again. Because when you ask me, the way I will answer you, like if you ask any other Haitian, well, obviously we all different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but I have a different perspective on the whole matter. But yeah, so you could, in a sense, you could say yes, Haiti was colonized by the French. You know what I'm saying? Like back in, again, 17th, no, even earlier than that. You know what I'm saying? Like 1492. You know what I'm saying? So put it like this quickly. Then I'll say this to you. So Haiti, as an island, is part of the greater or broader American. When I say American, I'm talking about the continent. So
Yeah.
North America, Canada, United States of America, the country that's going to be known as the United States of America,
Mm-hmm.
Central America, Mexico, Nicaragua, etc., and the Caribbeans and South America. So
Mm-hmm.
that whole continent, Haiti is part of that continent, right? So in that sense, that's why I say, like, when you ask me those types of questions, not just you, I'm saying people in general, like a lot of people, even Haitians got problems with me, right? Because I don't see things like, if you want to say the typical Haitian would see it. And it's not to say that I'm better or not. It's just, check this out. So in that sense, Haitians are American, not in the sense of, I'm not talking about as the
No, but as
United
far
States
as
of America.
continentally
There
being
you go.
part of the Americas.
Absolutely.
I get
So
it.
in that sense, all of us and on this continent, be it Canada down to South America, we share, there's a commonality of history. Okay. So Haiti, and why do and I'll go further. So Canada was predominantly conquered by France
Mm-hmm.
and Great Britain. The United States of America also. So we're saying, you'll see Louisiana. I mean, so Louisiana was actually the French, say that France, again, that owned, if you want to say, that piece of real estate, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then the rest of it between the Spaniards, and the British, right? Now you go to Central America, it's mainly the Spanish people, like people. When I say Spanish, I'm talking about Spain.
Yeah,
Okay,
the real
and
real Spanish people.
yeah, Spain, right? And then you go down South America again, Central America, which is what is known as the Caribbean. So those islands, Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, Puerto Rico, etc. These islands too, they're split between France, Great Britain, Spain, and Portugal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the greater Europe. So this is just I'm giving a quick context, right? So when you say like, so when people say, oh yeah, so in that sense, you could say yes. It's a long way to answer you to say that, and I like to give context and just say like that. Yes, Haiti, the Haiti that we know today, it's historical, if you want to say. Background is yes, it was a French colonized, piece of real estate that
Mm-hmm.
was populated by what broadly today we call it Native Americans. And then they brought about the enslaved people from Africa to, what I'm saying, that land, just like they brought them to the
To
United States
work it.
also.
Yep. Work
There
it,
you go.
cultivate
But
it. Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Worked it out. And then, as you mentioned, you made reference to, yes, at some point, those enslaved Africans, um, they had a revolution.
They
They
ran
rose
them
up
people up
against,
out of there.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? They, if you want to say they won, if you want to say the war between themselves and the French soldiers, Napoleon Bonaparte, and they declared Haiti independent, and then they started a republic. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
just like the United States became a republic also, right? And like France was a republic, because at that time, around that time, just like the United States, even up to now, the United States, you would say, is the world power. France was the world power back then. So Haiti, the enslaved Africans, right? The idea that they have to form a nation, it was based on the blueprint of what was um, predominant at that time, which was France. So it's like if it happened today, it would be, oh yeah, you know what? America. It would, like, when I mean by America, I'm talking about the United States. Like they would,
Mm-hmm.
so they try to build that republic. And to me, so now moving forward, I'm skipping a lot of stuff. Obviously, that's not the point. It's just, I'm trying to answer your question, like, but to give it a little bit more for your audience, who's hopefully going to listen to this. So if they didn't know, maybe they'll hear. I hope I'm giving them a different perspective so they could understand, I guess, a little bit this Haitian thing a little bit differently, right? So um this project of building a republic, right? They designed it, those enslaved Africans designed it after the European or the France, you know what I'm saying, political system, which was predominant at that time because they were the one ruling, okay? But from if you ask me, right, as I'm not a historian by trade, but I'm still a historian because you were talking about my academic um career. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I work in history also, right? Because what I do, it's not. I'm not a preacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm one, a theologian, and I'm a biblical scholar. But it's not from the perspective of. I'm doing this quick segue, and then I'll get back to. You'll see how
No,
that
no,
fits. You
no.
know what I mean? So what I do is I mainly my expertise is in the Hebrew Bible, right? So I had to learn Hebrew, you know what I mean, so I could read and translate, which was that's what I wanted to do because I wanted to understand all this stuff that we're talking about today. Like, when we talk about politics and geopolitics, I wanted to understand the roots of the Western world and the roots of the Western world, literally, in terms of ideology. It really stems from the Bible and from ancient Greek, right? So being that I was also raised, you know what I'm saying, in the religious tradition, the Christian religious tradition, it made sense to me, right? So I went and studied that. So I did Hebrew. In fact, my master's thesis, right? I wrote it on Genesis chapter 2 and chapter 3. So whoever's familiar with the Bible, this is the story of the Garden of Eden. Say the so-called creation of humans and their fall. You know what I mean? So I translated those whole two chapters, and then I did what we call in the milieu an exegesis. So it's to give an interpretation of what that story could possibly mean. So I give my own interpretation based on my reading of that story and and understanding the language. So I give you what I think the story is. Well, one of the things I don't want to say um, how do I say, categorically, or this is what it's saying, because it's a little bit more complex. And that's why I'll say, like, I try to give a different perspective of how to understand that story.
Your interpretation.
Exactly, right? But what I try to do though is trying to give it, it's based on text. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
just giving you like, and this is what's very important for me. So I don't just want to tell you what I think. I want to substantiate it by, look, here's what this text was saying in Hebrew, right? Like translated from the Hebrew to English, and then now I do an interpretation. But the interpretation not just because of what I believe or what I want it to be. You know what I mean? Like I try to show you, look, it's the data tells me this is how to understand it. You know what I'm saying? So this is part of what my thesis was. Brief. To get how does that tie into this Haiti thing? You know, like this is what I say. Like the reason I'm going this is to say, like, look, although I'm not a historian by trade, meaning that my field of specialty in academia is not. I didn't study history as a. That's not my if you want to say, that's not what I did my master's in. But we still had to, in what I'm working in, like in biblical studies, we have to use historical methods. You know what I'm saying? So it's to say that, well, what I'm telling you about Haiti here, the reason I'm telling you the story of Haiti the way I'm telling it is because I'd like for people to understand to a certain extent, especially in the United States. When I first moved there, right? You know, when you're talking about at first the Haitians, obviously we were considered strange. You know what I mean? And which is normal, by the way. Like I'm not emotionally. That's why I say, like, yeah, I'm kind of different like that, bro. Like I don't take those things personally. I went through that experience, right, in the early, mid, and late '80s of, like, you know, being called Haitian, booty scratcher, blah blah blah, speaking English with an accent. I went through all that and grow and in hindsight, I understand. You know, like, okay, it wasn't easy, it wasn't fun going through it, but it's understandable. You know what I mean? Why I say understandable? Because we were strangers. You know what I'm saying? Coming, it's like the United States of America. So Black Americans, right? Well, it's to a certain extent, it was normal. They were like, you know, when you talk about xenophobia today, right? So yeah, they were xenophobic, but it's normal they were xenophobic because they weren't used to meeting or encountering what we call a Haitian. So when, and same thing too, there were Africans there too. That they were not a lot in Jersey, but they didn't know them back then. They weren't acquainted with them. And in general, right? Like the African Americans that I would encounter, right? They weren't at like there was Black history, but it wasn't from that perspective. It wasn't taught from that perspective. So it was normal. The reason I'm telling you to say that, well, it was normal that African Americans didn't understand Haitians or Africans or any, you know what I mean, non-American for that matter, because that's not who they're used to. So brief, right? So I'm saying I had to. I hope I'm not deviating. Am I still there?
No, real
Okay,
quick.
okay. It seems like I'm saying a lot, but I'm just trying to tie in of the, if you want to say, the question that you asked me about what Haiti is like as a French colony. I'm trying to contextualize it to make it make sense. So I hope I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like briefly to in our context today with how people see Haitians today, especially in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like so they could I could bring, I guess, a different perspective, if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
no, for sure. I'll say this. So, two things.
Yeah.
One, um, I believe that Americans were made to feel that Haiti was inferior, kind of like that. And it's so similar to what's going on right now. It's
Okay.
like we're tricked. I feel that we were tricked into thinking that Haiti was this place that was just far and the just so out of touch culturally and all this, that, and the other, because it was so rich. And so the way the it's almost like in elementary school, a girl will call a boy ugly and pick on him, but she really like it. She really got a crush on him. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And whatever. And I say that to say, I feel that the way that Haiti was taught to American people was taught in a way to make us look at it like what is this place, or in a derogatory way. But what I learned as an adult is that y'all ran them people up out of there. Like they didn't tell, like we didn't get that part. You know what I'm saying? That was something that I had to get, as an adult. And then the other part that I wanted to ask you is that, okay, so one part of the island is Dominican Republic, correct?
Yeah, one part of the greater
Yeah.
this Hispaniola, what would become Haiti. Yes,
Yes,
one part of
yes.
the
So you
island
got
is
so you have
Dominican
you
Republic.
have one part that's French and then one part that is Spanish, correct?
Linguistically speaking, yes.
Now tell me this. It seems like you wouldn't be able to stop people from mixing and it all
You,
just being.
but go ahead. I just didn't catch what you said. Like, can you
I said it seems like um you how would people it seems like Haiti would be like the Spanish part and the French part would have just all mixed in together and been like a thing. But is it so culturally different, or just with the politics within it that keep the Spanish and the French from just becoming like one thing?
no, it's different. Like the United States and Mexico, they're very close,
Okay.
or like the United States and Canada, which are also very close. I'm in Canada right now, matter of fact, right? So it's that's the difference. So geographically, you know what I mean? Like it's like again,
Okay.
Canada and the United States are very close. It's just a slim line that separates them, right? So it's different in that sense. Now, when you say culturally, that's why I went to, like I said, I went in a little bit tangent, and I probably kind of got lost because I went in, I broadened my answer. You know what I mean? I made it too wide. Um, but here's what I remember. I mentioned that the Americas, the continent, it was divided between France, Portugal, Great Britain, and Spain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, right? The 80s, that's a perfect example. The land that we know as Haiti and Dominican Republic today, at some point it was the Spanish, right? That okay, there were native people living on that land, right? The
Okay.
Spanish came with Christopher. Well, see, okay, hold on. I want to be very accurate. Christopher Columbus first, okay? He came. He's not Spanish. He's Portuguese, right? In tandem with the Spanish king and queen, he conquered, in a sense, that land. I mean, that's called Haiti today, and that land was one, like under the Spanish, it was one land. They call it Hispaniola. It's one, excuse me, I'll try to pronounce it Hispaniola, right?
Okay.
And at some point, now when France comes in, right, this is when the first split happened. Well,
Okay.
let's bring the enslaved Africans in now. So they bring the enslaved Africans in, right? Um, so these enslaved Africans, just like again, like we're no, and look, so from a historical context, right? They took all the enslaved Africans throughout the American continent. They were all taken from the same regions in Africa, right? So where you today, like I don't know what your background, if you're an Native African American,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you are, so the people from whom you descend, right? They're probably again. I don't have that
No,
information, right?
they the same ones that was on Haiti. They the
The
same one.
Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, same people, right? Like
Yeah,
from different, I'm saying,
different places.
areas in Africa, but
Uh-huh.
it's the same groups of people that they dispersed throughout the continent. You get what I'm saying? So now, now Haiti again to get to the Dominican Republic, then right? Remember I told you the Spanish ruled at first,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then France came, okay, um, so the part that's known as the Dominican Republic. So when the French came, the land changed name. They changed the name. They didn't call it Hispaniola anymore. They call it it's a French word, Saint Domingue. That's how you got Santo Domingo in
Okay.
Spanish, right? The Republic Dominican, okay, or the Dominican Republic. So the French called it Saint Domingue. Um, Again, I'm cutting a lot. I'm gonna cut a lot because that's not the point or the purpose, I guess, of our conversation. It's just to try to make it make sense, contextualize it, and hit real history, right? So, These enslaved Africans that were on this island, okay, the side that's today that's known as the Dominican Republic, these enslaved Africans were under the, if you want to say, rule of the Spanish
Mm-hmm.
colonizers, right? And the Haitian part, the part that's going to become Haiti, the French ruled that part. So naturally, so this is how the linguistic, you know, or the differentiation, right, or the distinction in language. This is how it happened. Same enslaved people, right, on one island, split between two colonies, right, that made into two colonies,
Okay.
two groups of colonizers, one French, one Spanish. The enslaved people on the side that would become known as Haiti today, they obviously were French, so they taught the enslaved people French. The
Mm-hmm.
other side was ruled by the Spanish, so they taught the enslaved Africans on that side Spanish, right? Once the revolution, at some point, okay, when the revolution happened, okay, um, Haiti was the whole island, actually, at some point, okay, both sides, okay. It's at some point of history now, there's going to be a split, okay, between the Spanish side. The Spanish side is going to become its own, if you want to say, entity, and the the Haitian side now is going to become Haiti proper. So again, this is like an oversimplification, okay, to tell you
Yeah, I get it.
that's really what the difference is. Even though you will hear like the Dominicans and Haitians, they got issues, especially like if you were in New York, whatever, like or in Haiti, it's like really I think it's a lack of education because a lot of them, the version of history, both sides, okay, on the Haitian, on the and the Dominican side, the version of the history they got is not accurate, right? If they saw it for what it is, objectively, right? Take away all this emotional BS, okay? They're like, yo, and even culturally, okay, then I'll stop there, okay, because I'm talking a lot. You see, um, on the Dominican side, okay, rarely you'll hear this. So in general, I'm speaking in general term, okay.
Mm-hmm.
In Haiti, what they call the voodoo, right? In
Yep.
Haiti, the Creole part or the French part, they practice that, but they do that on the Dominican side also. It's just they call it something else, okay? Like it's a Spanish word for it, but
Okay.
same thing. They all practice the same if you want to say discipline, their cultures, there's a lot of things that you can find that are
Very similar, just a different
like,
language version.
there you go, bro. So it's and also the Dominican last thing I'd like to say is this just like in the United States, right, with African Americans, right, the colorism. So in the Dominican in Haiti too is like that. The lights in Haiti, you have a lot of light skinned Haitian or half, if you want to say. I don't care for it of it, but that's the reality of it. Okay, so I'm just
Mm-hmm.
telling you like it is. So in Haiti proper, right? You have colorism too among the Haitians because there are some Haitians that are half white, and then you have the Haitians like myself that are.
Us.
In fact, in my family itself, on my mama's side, like if you see some of my aunts, right, they're damn near white because in Haiti you also have Poland, like Polish people. Okay, that during the when the French ruled, they had Poland was with them, and then some actually the Polish fought with the enslaved Africans against to kick the French out.
We
So
didn't
some of
hear
the
that
Polish
story.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. Like some of the Polish people, there's a region in Haiti right now that these people, they're Haitians proper, right? But when you see them, like they're very, very light skinned, straight hair, etc. They descent from the Polish people, okay? So you have that issue in Haiti too, like colorism. And then on the Dominican side, it's very pronounced. Like the Dominicans in general, they like to see themselves as when they tell you there oh my goodness, there's a group of natives, okay, in Puerto Rico and Haiti and all throughout the Caribbeans, okay. There's a man, I just don't
Tahini.
remember say that again.
It starts with a T, I think. The
Yeah, the
Tahina.
Tainos, okay. So
Okay.
the Tainos was a particular group of
Indigenous.
okay, the
Yep.
you like, but the Tainos, they were all over the Caribbeans, like, and Haiti itself, right? Like that Haiti was the, if you want to say, one of the epic center of the Taino culture, like the original Taino, like the natives, right? But the Dominicans, this is what you call again, and I'll really shut up. It's a myth. Okay, this is a Dominican myth. Like they'd like to tell themselves, oh yeah, we're descent from Taino, but so are the Haitians. The Haitians could do the Haitians could actually, if they wanted to, and include, if you want to say, that story in their myth or their mythology also. It's all mythology, you know what I'm saying? It's not to say it's false, it's to say that it's a greater story that people tell themselves to build a certain identity. But sometimes it's not that those stories or those segment of stories are, even though they might bring meaning to us, they're not really rooted in fact. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll shut up there, bro. It's like I say, it's a
Nah,
very
I guess in a very naive way,
mm-hmm.
I look at it like you have Haitian people, um, they have, you know, financial strife going on, but a very uh as far as minerals and all that kind of stuff go, very rich place. And I'm sure the Dominican Republic also. But it just seems to me like the two would just mix with each other. It just seems like they would just mix with like they
No,
just
they don't. No, I don't think they have to. Like, I don't. Not to cut you, and not to. It's not that I'm
uh-huh.
like on a in an adversarial way. You know, I guess
Yeah.
what you're saying. Just to say like my perspective is like no. It's like culture. It's different now. They're different cultures, and I'm okay, and that's fine, bro. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. Like they don't necessarily have to unify and become one. Like what I think is, if you don't mind me saying this, the proposition on my end is more like, well, no, you could live in harmony with your neighbor, right? Your neighbor being in a sense your brother or even cousin.
Well, I'm speaking, and not to cut you off.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
go ahead, go ahead.
speaking from a pure uh testosterone and estrogen kind of a way, simplifying it just kind of to the human thing. It just seems like if people are on one place, they're gonna mix.
No, but not when they're different. That's what I'm saying to you. My
Oh,
proposition
so okay,
is
okay,
that they're too
I
different.
get it. Just
There's
so the cultural differences are so
yeah, it's
different.
too right now. It's too, and it's again. I'm not saying this like
Oil
and
and no, not you're not speaking in exacts. We're not speaking in exacts,
yeah,
but for the
yeah.
most part, it's oil and water.
Yeah, and also the Dominican Republic side, okay? Well, the Dominican Republic side, the Dominican Republic
Yeah.
as a culture and as a nation, they're way more advanced than the Haitians. That's just fact. Like I said, this is the part. Like, but the Haitians, they won't like if they hear this, they gonna. They usually like you know. I got a podcast also that I do, so there's things sometimes like that. Things when I speak about such matters, and I give my perspective. The Haitian TikTok usually go off on me, bro. I'm used to it, but it won't change. I gotta say what I believe to be the truth, right? So the Dominican Republic, bro, is a much more stable it's much more stable politically. You know what I'm saying? Like they're culturally even. Like when I say I'm not saying they're better. That's not what I'm saying. I just like
No, no,
I'm
no,
saying
no,
that they're
no.
better. I'm saying
I
that no,
get
they're
it.
more stable. They're more stable, bro. They got a stable country. Haiti, well, again, the Haitians don't. In general, Haitians don't like to hear that. We are a failed state. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So you can't mix like a state proper and a failed state. Like, why would they want to? Like, I get them to a certain extent, like the Dominican side. Like, well, why would we want to mix with these people? Like, you know what I'm saying? They got issues over there. They gonna bring the issue to
Over
us.
here.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like the Haitians would say, "Oh no, you a traitor." No, it's just I'm bro. I like to see things for what they are, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just common sense. I mean, the Haitians would have, if had the Haitians been the Dominican Republic, they'd have done the same thing. In fact, at some point, that's what I tell you. If you know the history of that island, at some point, Haiti did have the Haitian part. It was stable. It ruled both sides. You understand what I'm saying? Like it ruled both sides, and then we just. Now I'm seeing collectively, and then I'll stop there, bro. There's this is beyond my pay grade to a certain extent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I could tell you what I think, what our problems are as Haitians, but yeah, bro, we have a lot of problems, man. Like to me, we're not even. I really stop there. I like to tell the Haitians that um on a sociological end, right? We're not a people yet. To me, I mean, oh, what are you talking about, Ghandi? You crazy? Shut up! Like, no, we're not a people yet. We're trying to become a people, and I think until we realize we're not a people yet, we'll never become a people. So I think that's something. Haitians got a lot of problems, bro. You understand? So all this to say, I don't see why Why would the Dominican Republic want to be one with?
Yeah, I'm like I said, I was speaking that from a pure estrogen and testosterone type thing, where it just seems like when there's when there's something there to kind of keep people from mixing, I'll tell you. So my people are from Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
We smoke meat and we tell stories. I bred dogs for years. I probably haven't had a litter in about maybe 2 years or so. But when I
Mm,
was breeding American bulldogs, I had this one particular dog, and I had a kennel in the back.
mm,
And the way that my mind was working was I didn't want her. I didn't want to deal with a litter of puppies, and so I put her in the kennel while she was in heat, and then I just let my male dog, just run around outside of the kennel because the area that I keep them in is kind of big, right? And so I came out one morning and I heard my neighbor's dogs on both sides of my house barking. And
mm.
so I went to the backyard to look. And even though I had put my female dog in the kennel, she had backed that thing up. It was she had backed it up, and my male dog was able to get her, like
Mm.
even like through the wrought iron gate. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't just a flat barrier. It was, it had holes in it or whatever. So I say
yeah.
that to say, my little naive mind thinking, Dominican Republic and whatever, like, man, hormones, people, eh.
It
But
already
once
is,
it
but not to cut you, it's just to add to what you. Now I got what you were trying to say, and I'll
okay.
tell you. So, apart from all the geopolitical, historical stuff, sociological stuff that I was trying to convey, well, on that level, bro, like, listen, bro, and there's a lot of Haitians in the Dominican Republic right now. Despite, like, you hear a lot of bad things. Oh yeah, there is that. Okay, like there's a lot of Haitians who are in the Dominican Republic who are undergoing a lot of like trials and tribulation under, I mean, I should say, like, for immigration
Mm-hmm.
issues. Okay, there's that. I won't deny that. However, okay, what sometimes a lot of people fail, especially on the Haitians side, they fail to tell the whole truth. There are also a lot of, if you want to say, man, I don't want to. I'll try to not be super controversial, especially with what's going on right now. But
A lot of
yeah,
Dominicans
whatever,
in
man.
Haiti.
So we'll say it this way, bro. There's a lot of legal um, alien Haitians who are in the Dominican Republic, pretty much integrating into Dominican society as Haitians, right? Who are working and um, especially in the real estate, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was talking about.
And they're
I
already doing that. You know what I mean? But
No, that's what I was talking about. I just could not see how you're gonna stop it from spilling over. Like I
no,
just
but it's
don't.
all, yeah, this what I was gonna tell, but it's not exactly, but it's there you go. It's all I'm trying to tell you. Like, but that's not, this is happening within the Dominican,
But not on the Haitian side.
yeah, these are
Okay.
Haitians because Haiti is not stable. So the Haitians would leave Haiti, just like, look, I had to leave in the 80s to go to the United States. You have Haitians who are leaving Haiti because it's bullshit down there, bro. They go to the Dominican Republic for a better life. If they're legal, they manage to integrate the society, go to school. Bro, I got
Okay.
a cousin from Canada right now, bro. Like, he's not even Haitian from Haiti. He's from Canada. He was born in Canada, okay, but he's a Haitian. He lived down there. His baby mom, like, he got a daughter in the Dominican Republic right now with a Dominican. Like, he lives in, like, if you see
That's what I was
him,
talking about.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like, so, but he's not from Haiti. He's from Canada, but he's a Haitian, right? He's of Haitian heritage. Okay, speak Creole too. But again, if you see him, like when I told you the light skin thing, like the colorism thing, like, yeah, like that cousin of mine, like, if I show you his picture, like, you would swear he's one of those light skinned Dominicans. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He speaks Spanish just like him. No, but he a Haitian, and he got, like, one of his baby moms is a Haitian. I mean, a Dominican. You know what I'm saying? So it's to say, I hear what you're saying. It's just, however, politically, this is where the politics, like, as we can't avoid it. As much as this is happening, right, in greater Dominican society, it's not going to spill over to Haiti because Haiti
It's
is
unstable.
unstable politically. They don't have proper governance. You know what I'm saying? And the Dominican government, for all their faults, they have a lot of faults. But like
They
I
have
said,
more
me, I like to
structure.
be objective, bro. I don't blame them for trying to keep their backyard safe from, you know what I mean, the
The
other side,
unstable
bro.
part. Okay. Nah,
Bro,
you
just like you, your dog, right? But you say like, yeah, your male dog, I got a piece of that thing, but well, I don't know. Like, let's push the analogy, then I'll shut up on there, right? If your neighbor though might not want that, man. He might like, next time the neighbor might be like, oh hell no, like, you know what I'm saying?
gotta break them up.
Like,
Gotta
no, bro.
break them up.
Yeah, because we ain't trying to see all that here. I mean, like,
Okay.
my analogy, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying, yes, like, you got a lot of mixture over there, bro. Like, it's not all the bad that I don't know if you hear it, but I know for sure. Like me in my household right now, like see me and my sister. My sister is in New York. She live in New York, right? Um, if I had this discussion you and I are having, my sister's on the opposite end of that discussion. With she doesn't want to hear anything about the Dominican Republic. You know what I mean? Like, you know, say, well, as me, it's like I'm trying to be objective, and I try to tell her that, man. Like, yeah, it ain't what you can't be emotional about it. You know what I mean? It is what it is, but you can't blame these people to want to keep their side safe. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same way I feel, and I'll really shut up there about what's going on in the United States. A little bit more complex, but right now in the United States, like, yo, bro, it is what it is, bro. Like, you got the United States has all the right as a sovereign nation, right? To protect itself, if you want to say, from outside, you know what I'm saying, interference and under whatever in whatever form it may come. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, me, I have no well, compassion. Yes, there's space for compassion, but there's also practical. You know what
Understanding.
I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. Like the United States have all the right to say, look, man, we don't want. Bro, it used to be like this for us in the '80s. I was like, no, we don't want no more of these Haitians here. Now, when I was young, I didn't understand it, but today I'm telling you, well, duh. Today, if it was me today, I'll tell you, yeah, too many Haitians are coming over. If I was an American, yeah, stay in your
So
own lane, bro. Like,
so question.
yeah, go ahead,
Right now you're in Canada, so I'm gonna ask you this question with context
man.
to people in Canada.
Yeah,
Um, do you think the youth understand what's going on in America right now politically?
the youth, what in the United States itself, or the
No,
youth in
the youth in
Canada?
Canada understand what's going on politically in the United States. You know, with
Wow,
with the president and just everything being kind of haywire.
it depends on, I guess, from my perspective. Like, I won't lie to you, bro. You see,
Uh-huh.
I've been in Canada for a while. Like, I go back and forth to, like, I'll come into the United States every now and then. Like, but I feel like this, okay, bro. Like, I've never really moving from the United States to Canada. Excuse me, I've never really integrated. You know, like into so look, I'm an Americanized Haitian. So in that sense, talking to you, obviously you are born, raised American citizen. I'm
That's
not
a
an
fact.
American citizen. That's one of the reasons why we had to come to camp. My sister is. Yeah, I mean, my sister's an American citizen. So, and she was here too. She just couldn't take it because she, again, we Americanized. Like we've been too long, like in the United States. So when we came to
Mm-hmm.
Canada, it's a culture clash for us. So I'm going to answer a question. It's just again to contextualize it to say to you, yeah, I could tell you what I think, but I think that I'm the wrong person to a certain extent. Like as a scholar and as someone who follows what's going on, I could give you my opinion, but I don't think it counts in the sense of because to the Canadians, I'm American. Even as long as I've been here, you know what I'm saying? The way I talk, bro, the way I think this I got it from the United States. You know what I'm saying? I see the world through American lens. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know if that answers the question to a sense. Like I'll be the wrong person because I'll tell you, like I see some youth political commentators, especially online. Only recently I started seeing them, and on the Canadian side, who are actually, um, man, pro. I don't want to say pro Trump because I don't like, man, this all this anti-Trump and TDS. So I'll
Yeah.
say this, bro. They're pro to me. They're pro-American in the sense of they think they're not highly critical of the Trump administration as the our current government in Canada, I
Mm-hmm.
think would like to present it, if that makes sense.
No,
But
that
it's
makes
not
all the
all of them.
sense in the world.
Yeah, so you have a lot of support here for um for the Trump administration. It's just you won't hear it because um the media here, it's not like the United States, bro. It's weird here, bro. Like it's pretty much controlled. Like it's a weird thing happening here, man. You know what I mean? So there's a lot. If you're not tapped in, you won't know. You know what I'm saying? You would think like if you were just watching, like I think to a certain extent it's the same in the United States. You know, like um traditional media. If you're
Mm-hmm.
on traditional media, you'll think like, man, everybody here hates Trump and everybody here is against what's going on in the United States. Not really, not on the ground, from my perspective, in my experience. You know what I'm saying? But
No,
again,
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. What's the best advice anyone's ever given you?
Oh my, it is so many, man. Wow. Definitely my dad, probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it's a simple one, you know what I mean? But I'm still soaking it in, and I find that it's as simple as it is, it's very apropos, as we would say. So anyway, my dad, like, he has this thing he like to tell me, like, because I'm somebody like maybe you could tell me, and I'll get. It's not that I'm an asshole, but being the way that I am, like I tend to get in when I say it's not fights, like physical fights, but I
Nah,
guess I'm a polarizing
debates.
thinker. Yeah, I'm very polarizing, right? So even within, like I said, to the point where, bro, like within my family, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
No, you're
wow,
telling you and your sister.
bro, you know what I'm saying? Love her, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
my dad, he like to tell me, this is what he tell me, man. He look, G, you gonna have to learn to live with people as they are. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like it's really simple. He put it like that. And at first I was like, huh, what are you talking about, dude? Like it's not that I'm trying to beat people upside the head either, right? It's just as I think you can tell, like I have strong convictions and I'm pretty much confident. Like I'm not saying that I know everything, you know what I'm saying, but I'm confident of my position, right? So to sometimes it could seem like I'm abrasive, etc., and that I'm trying to impose myself. And I'm like, no, that's not it at all. It's just I'm argumentative. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring you what I deem to be the facts, and I'm expecting you to do the same on your side, right? So anyway, so that tends to cause conflict sometimes with people, and my father, you know what I'm saying, and he'll tell me like, "Yo, man," like, and it'll affect me, man, because really, like, I'm sensitive in the sense of, bro, I care for people, bro. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes like I don't get it. I don't get what they don't get. You know, or I don't get why they don't understand that. Yo, it's not personal. You know what I mean? It's just like I I like to think that I'm seeing a bigger picture, and I'd like for you to not to see it exactly like
Yeah,
me,
they're
but
not
to see
seeing that
why.
big picture.
There you go, bro. So simply put, my dad would tell me, "Yo, bro, leave it alone." You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to learn to live with people,
Yeah,
as they are in the not condition per se, but the context that they are right now, and by God's grace, hopefully in the future, if it's necessary, they'll change, or if it's you that gotta change, you'll change. But like try to keep going back and forth with people and futile. So I have to say, it seems like it's something that's simple. It might be simple for maybe yourself or other people. For me, it wasn't, bro. And I've really been trying to practice that, and and it actually it's true. It helps. I mean, it's not easy for me, but it's like, yeah, I like to remember what my father said. Live with people as much as you can. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. Like live with them as they are, bro, and keep doing what you're doing. So that's the advice that I would say that I got. Say the best advice.
well, my father gave me some some good advice too, but it was
Yeah,
more of a statement than advice.
yeah,
Some people as good as they're gonna be, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Really, it's
They're
the
as
same
good as they're gonna
thing.
be, and you just gotta kind of digest that and chew on it
Yeah.
and just leave it where it's at. And we could have all these grandiose concepts and ways that someone else could see something a lot easier, and we're seeing this thing, but some people just aren't interested in what we're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And it, eh, that's what it is. But no, man, we gotta have some more conversations, man. This is like, man, we got on something good because I was really fascinated, like I said, looking at it from a very um basic level of testosterone and estrogen, and then you broke it down to where it's a little deeper than just testosterone
Yeah,
and
yeah.
estrogen going on. But if someone wants to hear your music or find out a little bit more about what you have going on, where can you point them in the direction of social media?
Yeah, I'll say, check me out on IG. From IG, you'll have all my other links. So it's at I am Ghandi. So it's at IAMGUNDEI. At I am Gandhi. From there on, you're gonna find my YouTube. But just in case, YouTube is Gandhi TCB, GUNDEI TCB. I got a gang of videos, like mainly in English, but I speak a lot of languages, so I try to sometimes rap in, saying French and whatever, Creole, whatever, so you'll find that there. I got a podcast also. It's kind of on pause right now. I'm a little bit too busy with in school at the university, but it's called OG's Perspectives Podcast, where I have different discussions, like some of the stuff we've been, we touched on, like I try
Mm-hmm.
to put it on culture and things of the sort. But yeah, I am Gandhi. I am Gandhi, or Gandhi.com is my website, man. Any of those, you go there, you're gonna find me. And I got actually an album coming out. In fact, a lot of the stuff we're talking about, I'm not gonna beat you upside the head with it on the album, but you'll see me touch on some of these themes. It's
Nah, that's
yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean,
some of the medicine mixed in with a little bit of the sugar.
absolutely, man. It's called for such a time as this. You know what I'm saying? For such a time as this, as in the kind of stuff that I think that I'm. It's more of a soul album, with a hip hop twist to it. You know what I'm saying? Like like Bill Biv DeVoe, hip hop with a R&B, like something like that I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm mostly singing, but I got some features on there, like the homie I got of your, you know what I'm saying, neck of the wood. You know what I'm saying, Englewood. I got 211. You know what I'm saying, on there. I got one with Ras Kass on it.
Oh, that's a
Um,
homeboy.
yeah, man. Cocaine, the
Yep.
OG man.
No cocaine. He's the
Oh
OG.
yeah, man. Me and Cocaine, we got like this 1970s new vibe thing that we did, bro, called Foolish, you know what I'm saying, on the album. Um, who else I got on there in terms of features? So Cocaine, Ras Kass, I said 211. And I think that's yeah. For now, that's mainly it on this project. So yeah, man, I'm trying to, I'm independent, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Listen to again, those of the audience. Check me out on social media. It'll be on Spotify, and God willing, for the next year, I have like a lot of other projects that I have in store. Those I'm trying to refrain from having them on Spotify though. When I do put them
Mm-hmm.
out, this one is 15 songs. I'm giving them in a sense for free because they're gonna be on Spotify, but the next few EPs that I'm gonna drop. I got a lot of other dudes also out of California. I won't say their name yet. You know what I'm saying? Their name, excuse me, yet. But yeah, the next EPs I'll try to make them available, direct to consumer. You know what I mean? So from my website, Bandcamp, I'll sell possibly USB keys also, and maybe CDs and vinyls. But yeah, man, I am Gandhi. Check me out,
I
man.
got
And
I got one last one for you, man.
yes, sir.
The
Yes, sir.
the short
Yeah.
version of the answer, and it's something that's been on my mind since I heard you say something about it.
Yeah.
When you're translating Hebrew, if you don't know what the word is, how do you get the definition and context?
When you're translating Hebrew, well, tell you the truth, but when you're translating Hebrew, you don't know a lot of the words, right? So we have a lot of tools, right? So what you call there's lexicons. Lexicons, they're not necessarily dictionaries, but they're, to put it simply put, like your question is, I'm not gonna make it long, but it's very
No.
complex what you ask, right? It's a whole method behind it. So you have lexicons, right? That have like it's not a dictionary, like I say, but it's like a book that has a plethora of like Hebrew words and
Mm-hmm.
ideas in them that you'll tap into. There's also, again, there are methods. Like for example, myself, right? Like I said, I use a lot of methodology from linguistics. Okay, so linguistics is the science of or the study of or the scientific study of language, how language functions. You know, like syntax, semantics,
Mm-hmm.
pragmatic. So I use a lot of that. It's not just word definition. It's also meaning, right? But meaning the way we get this, I'll say, like, see the academic in me. But anyway, I'll stop there. But to tell you the truth again, like, so to get to understand that, and you also do need dictionaries. You need lexicons, dictionaries. There are other non-Hebrew because some words, right, in ancient Hebrew or what we call classical Hebrew or generally biblical Hebrew, some of these words they don't exist in modern Hebrew, the Hebrew that they speak in Israel right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way we tried, if you want to say, understand some of these words is what you call cognate languages. Cognate meaning you can say like it's like sister or cousin languages,
Mm-hmm.
Semitic languages. So, for example, Ge'ez, like this is an Ethiopic language. You know what I'm saying? Which is also part of the Semitic class
Mm-hmm.
of languages. There's Arabic. There's some of the stuff that's in ancient Mesopotamia. You know what I mean? So a lot of these um there are a lot of documents anyway, ancient documents from these areas that are cognate languages of the Hebrew. When we find words that are obscure to us that no longer exist today, we'll go tap into some of these to see how we could understand, I mean, the possible meaning of some of these obscure words that we might encounter. But anyway, it's a semi-short answer.
No, no, I
It's
get
more
it.
complex.
I
You know
get
what I mean?
it. So
Yeah.
basically, you do more than guess.
Oh, absolutely. That's what it's literally a science, bro. That's why it's not to demean. So I'm not again. I'm not.
No, I
What I'm
get it.
doing is not a preacher. You know what I mean? Like I don't. I'm not a preacher. I'm literally like it's scholarship, right? And it's not to demean the preacher. The preacher has its role, but us, what we're doing, will literally like it's kind of like an archaeologist, except it's with ancient text. We're digging into the ancient text to trying to bring out what the original, for lack of a better term, intents or ideas might have been, right? Because in general, you can never really truly know, you know what I mean? Like, because again, they're ancient language, you know what I'm saying? So you're trying to make sense of them from our time, you know what I'm saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
what we do is we're trying to give you at least for me, in the discipline, I'm really strong on that, bro. I'm trying to give you as much as an accurate, you know what I'm saying, rendition of what it seems that the original text was trying to say, you know what I'm saying, say like 2, 3 thousand years ago.
Dope.
Yes,
Nah,
sir.
well, with that being said, man, this has been another episode.
You.
Splendid Radio on Fireside TV.
Shout
Thank
out
you.
to your homies from the far side too. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm obviously a big fan and definitely influenced by them. You know, especially their first two albums, man. And I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Like having this long conversation and dodging me going into these, you know what I'm saying, tangents. You know what I'm saying? Like and giving me again the opportunity to share your platform, man. And thank you again, man. And I hope we'll continue to, you know what I'm saying, build and do
Oh
some
no,
work.
we have man, we have a few conversations that we're gonna have, and I'll reach out to you in the next day or so. But no, man, like I said, with that being said, this has been an episode of Splendid Radio on Farside TV. Peace.
Peace.